and welcome to The View. Sunny Hostin is back at the table, looking very cute today, and joining us as guest co-host. Please welcome the attorney who became world famous as the head prosecutor in the trial of the century, O.J. Simpson's Marcia Clark.
Yeah.
Nice to have you back here, Marcia.
Nice to be back. Thank you.
We
and
like
next to fellow prosecutors.
It's so nice.
so
we've been sharing all this lawyer love.
We have been.
Lawyer love. That's so
great.
adorable.
Just take it easy on us today, okay? Please take it easy on us.
We're gonna try.
Prosecutors at the table.
So you're ready for a little something? Because just when you thought this campaign couldn't get any weirder, this happens. Watch this.
Donald Trump has set his ambitions on the White House in order to promote an agenda of fascism and xenophobia, as well as the religious persecution of Muslims through totalitarian policies. We have attached Trump's social security number, cell phone number, and other details that might be able to assist you all in independently investigating this would-be dictator. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Donald Trump, you should have expected us.
Oh, scary.
I was really
scary.
If anybody's down for it, I didn't know about this. I thought this was V for Vendetta. Somebody had the razors out. I thought I was going to have to shave my head until they put out the information. I was like, I am not a part of this moment. But I was ready, Natalie Portman. I don't know what's going on over there.
They released his social security number, some of his phone numbers. You know, obviously, a lot of it is public knowledge. I mean, if you just Google it.
Should he have seen this coming? I mean, he has been very provocative to a lot of different groups. It's going to really ruffle feathers, at least ruffle feathers, maybe worse. What do you think, Marcia?
You know, I think that it's one of these things that when you start with an incendiary, an inflammatory campaign like this, then you're going to get that response. And it has been. And I've never seen anything like it at these rallies where people are actually getting violent. What?
But is it fair, to get your personal information out there? I think that's a step beyond. That's not right.
Right. It really bothered me, actually, the lawyer in me. But there was something also in me. I kind of grinned and smiled about it a little bit.
Did you really?
Yeah, like I kind of enjoyed it.
That's evil, but we love it.
It is a little evil, and I kind of enjoyed it. And I think I enjoyed it because in July, Trump gave out Lindsey Graham's cell phone number.
Yeah, he did.
And told supporters to try it. And then we had Jorge Ramos on the show, and he also gave out Jorge Ramos's, cell phone number. So I kind of felt like it was karma.
You know, didn't you feel like they should? Why don't they give out Donald's barber's number?
That would be his own
No one wants it.
Say hello. Could you do something with the dude's hair? Right. And wait a minute. It's not just this person anonymous, which I found a little scary.
It was frightening
but Donald's
watching that
son,
video.
Eric, received a threatening letter with a suspicious substance in it. That, I think, is really over the top, and that really creeps me out.
That creeps me out, and this is what we always get on Donald Trump, to denounce the violence, and I don't think he's done a good enough job of denouncing it. But let some of these other politicians be the bigger person that Donald's not going to be, and say, guys, regardless, it may have been one of my supporters, this has no place in America. I'm waiting for somebody else to step up and say that as well.
And I agree with you, because I got to tell you, I did enjoy the anonymous thing, but this was sent, the fake anthrax envelope was sent to Donald Trump Jr.'s home, and his wife opened it.
Yeah, his wife opened it.
You have crossed the line. That's his family.
And leave the kids out of it. First of all, they're not saying anything.
You leave the family out of it. That was really, that kind of really went over the top for me. But remember, you guys, do you remember the campaign when it was McCain and Palin versus Obama? And I think it was somebody in McCain's rally who was saying something about Obama being a Muslim and being a terrorist.
Yes.
McCain stopped him.
He sure did.
He shut it down.
He did the right thing.
That was the last
a campaign should be run.
But that was the last time they showed that type of moral compass in the Republican Party against President Obama. Was that moment, and then they went berserk after that. And it started with "You Lie." Remember that? You Lie? Then all of a sudden, all bets were off on the guy. Yeah.
They've been incredibly obstreperous, and I've never seen any party treat a president the way this president has been treated, so disrespectfully.
I mean, Trump can say the same thing. Yes, he has his rhetoric and what he's doing and the outright, but just to, not even to be on his side, but we also come for him and say awful things about him as well, just to keep it fair. And I would like to say about the anthrax thing, I mean,
Trump, you mean?
Yeah, everyone says crazy things, but he also brings it on.
He asks for it. He asks for it.
Yes, but at the same time,
But
bullying doesn't help bullying.
Yeah.
We're not bullying. Wait a minute. We're not bullying. I'm not bullying.
Not you.
him.
I didn't say. I said we as a whole.
Oh.
Everybody coming after him.
Oh, I thought you meant us.
No. Free speech. Free speech is free speech. But at the same time, you know, if someone calls you something and you call them right back, that's the same thing. You're not really fighting.
Stooping, aren't you?
Stooping to his level.
Everyone
It's
is
like
coming
Pee Wee
at each other.
Herman. I know what I am, but what are you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I would...
Can I just make one more point?
I don't think about the hands.
It's ridiculous. Just one more point is that, you know, we always talk about no fighting in this election, and I agree we shouldn't fight. The way to fight is to vote, right? If you want to beat if you want to beat what's happening, you have to vote. You have to get your 18-year-olds, make them understand what's going on. Because I, for a long time, even before this show, was a conspiracy theorist. My vote doesn't count. They're going to pick whoever they want to. But I made it happen, and I think that's what we have to focus on.
Well, we learned that in the last election.
That's right.
That votes count. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about something that happened with Hillary Clinton. So we'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Getting it on at the office. The ladies reveal if they've ever messed around with a coworker. Later. So Joy took us back to class.
Did you raise your hand?
I did. I went like this.
School's in session.
Raising my hand.
I would call on you, but if you speak, you get detention.
Joy. The place to be heard is The View on ABC.
91. No, 81. So, all righty, then welcome back to the show. All right, let's talk about Hillary for a second. I feel as though we're always talking politics, but it's important, isn't it? This is a very important year.
It is an election year,
It
Joy.
is. And there's nothing more interesting besides Kim Kardashian. Yeah. Anyway, so Hillary, our lovely Hillary, she won big on Tuesday night. Yes, she did. I mean, I'm a Hillary fan. I'm pretty much unabashed. Joe Scarborough tweeted, "Smile. You just had a big night." And he got a lot of blowback from that because he said, "Smile, you just," because they said in his, and he wrote an op-ed piece saying, "Come on, she's a tough woman, she can handle this." But people were saying it was sexist. Is it sexist if you keep saying smile? Come on.
I don't think in this particular context.
You don't.
I don't think this was sexist. Listen, drinking game for you, Sonny. I worked in sports. Sexist was when my first boss.
Yeah. Sports, we take a drink.
Yeah, take a drink, everybody. It's water, by the way. When my first boss told me, A, you don't belong in sports because you're a woman, and B, you won't make it unless you show your tatas, okay? That's sexism. In this particular situation, I think that's the big knock on Hillary, and she even admitted it. I'm not a natural politician, you know, like President Obama is, and like my husband is. She doesn't have much of a personality, and I think she has owned up to that. So asking somebody to smile is just like, smile, have a little bit of a personality.
I completely disagree with you, as I think my co-counsel will. Everybody take a drink, because
this is not fair. You have a co-counsel.
As a former prosecutor, so we can all take a drink. You know, I was told one of the critiques I got when I was in the courtroom prosecuting child sex crimes was, you should smile a little more in front of the jury. I was like, what about my job is funny right now? Yeah. I am talking about death and destruction. You have got to be kidding me.
Well,
I've gotten it on television too, though. Sonny, you've got nice teeth. You should smile more. Well, I'm talking about death and destruction on TV too.
You know, Marsha, you talked about death and destruction when you were prosecuting.
Did you get that? Oh yeah, smile, talk softer, you know, all that stuff, you know. But wait a minute, if I do that, then you're going to say I'm a cream puff who can't handle this.
Exactly.
It's a double murder. Whatever you think about who did it, it's a double murder. It's not time to say, hi. You know, I mean, what kind of thing? Yeah. Wouldn't you think that was weird and out of body?
About men. They don't say it about men.
But here's the thing. Here's why I disagree, and I do think it's sexist. Because if he were saying the same thing, and his defense was, I'm saying the same thing about Trump. I'm saying that he got a big win, and then he went, but it wasn't the same. Because he attacked Trump for talking like a loser. He attacked Trump for coming out and saying,
who did Scarborough?
Yeah, Scarborough.
Joe Scarborough.
He attacked Trump for saying, hey, you just had a big win. Why are you bitching about a pundit and complaining about the polls?
Right.
You just won. This is not a time to talk about that. Fair enough.
Yes.
That's not smile.
It was nothing about his appearance. Nothing.
Right.
Well, they also call, you know, but it plays into the narrative about Hillary Clinton that she's, you know, shrill and that she's not friendly. When you were a prosecutor in the OJ case, I remember that. They called you vituperative. I said, really, that's a big word for people. And really, that's a big word, vituperative.
We don't know what it means.
And
that was
shrill,
okay.
What does it mean? Yeah, what does it mean?
Shrill.
I love when the definition is actually shorter than the actual word itself.
Yeah, but they called you shrill, but they didn't say what's his name, Darden?
Yeah, Chris
Darden.
Chris really
they didn't say Chris was shrill.
Chris
Why not?
really wasn't shrill, but what about Barry
you
Sheck?
were. Wait a minute.
Yeah, what about Barry
Come
Sheck?
on, is that not the definition of?
Exactly. But they never they never say that about men.
Sometimes I feel like, though, yes, I agree in some ways to both of you guys aside, because we're looking as humans as social cues. We think if something good happens, you automatically have to smile. Yes, women get it more, but that's what we're thinking. And sometimes, especially now with the presidential race, we're worried about the dialogue and the language, and you're coming for both sides. You guys want they want the presidents to be robots, kind of. I mean, the nominees to be robots, kind of, with all the social cues that we think they're supposed to have.
Yeah, but robots don't smile.
If you program them to, they will.
Men even do that when you're walking down the street.
Competition, right?
But see, here's the thing, though.
Bathing suit competition.
I think that there is. I think a lot of times as women we're too quick to play the sexism card. I just do. I think there are vast double. But there are vast double standards. We objectify men on a daily basis with a smile.
I've been trying to say this for the last 2 weeks.
We do. It is a double.
Let me say something.
Standard.
I don't really think that men even know when they're doing it.
They enjoy it. That's the thing.
I often tell the story when I was a teacher and I gave a lesson on verb and subject agreement. And the head of the department watched the lesson, and after it was over, he said to me, and he was like this short weirdo, and he said, it's always the type, right? It's never Pierce Brosnan that's coming on to me. But he's going, you were so great. I really could have just, on the board.
Ooh,
I could have just done you on the board, blackboard. And I say, but what about my lesson?
Yeah.
I was like, what about my lesson? So wait a second. He thought that was a compliment.
Yeah.
It's not a compliment.
Yes, no, it's not.
Like we talked about men in the street going, yo, baby. It's not a compliment.
And they often say smile. I mean, this guy told me that the other day.
On the street.
It's, you should smile. And I said, well, my dog died today.
That's good. That's a good one.
I mean, I made it up. My dog hadn't died. But I just said it because you don't know what someone is going through, and you're asking them to smile. And I don't objectify many men. Just Channing Tatum. That's different.
Honey. And you did big time.
That's different.
You reduced him.
We'll be right back with even more hot topics.
Still ahead, do your kids get punished for talking back? Find out why it may be better to let them have their say.
Welcome back. I don't smile enough, maybe, you know?
You need to smile a little bit more.
I want to tell you something. This morning, one of the executives on this show, who shall be nameless, comes into my room and says, Joy, when you walk out, you're looking at your cards and you're not smiling.
That's sexist, Joy.
It's right? Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's see what I'm doing.
Are you smiling?
You're playing with your hair and you're looking at your cards.
Because the hair is the issue. Okay, so for the rest of the show, I'm just going to be an idiot. Glamour magazine just posted an article about how to have an office romance without getting caught. Stuff like, don't email. That would be stupid, because anybody can hack into your email. And keep it off of social media, which is basically a similar idea. Has anybody at this table ever dated a coworker, Marsha?
Why me?
Well, I admitted to Marsha earlier that when I was watching the trial, it did become sort of like a soap opera, and we were all tuned in. I really thought that you were having an affair with Christopher Darden, and when you look at the FX series, it also kind of looks
strongly intimated.
It's intimated that you had a little something. Right?
We were co-counsel. We were partners. He was like my rock. You know what I mean? I don't know if I would have survived that trial without him. So that's what I'm going to say.
You said
I will also just to stand up for you.
Thank you very much.
We talk about this topic a lot. Can you be friends with a man? Can you just be friends with a man? Does it always have to be sexual? Because people go to that, but it did look that way.
Marsha, I gotta ask you. You were there in the
you slid right off anyway.
We're talking about being friends with a man, but I think you did say you guys were closer than lovers, but you can have like a really intimate relationship with somebody, and it's not
a bubble like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in the middle of this bubble, and the whole world is out there, and you're in the middle of this thing that nobody else can understand.
Yeah.
That's a really unique
I know. I felt
relationship.
that way about Judge Ito.
Yes.
I think that you spend so much time at work that I have seen a lot of people get involved in office romances. When I first started at a law firm out of law school, I got into an office romance with someone that was my contemporary. We started at the same time, same year, graduated from law school. My father got wind of it because my mother tells him everything. And he called me and he said, "You're committing professional suicide. You will always his conquest. End it now." And I always listened to my father, and I ended it, and it was the right thing to do because I have seen through my career women's careers just implode because they are having an office.
But then you have my industry, and
Where
you
else are you
see
supposed to meet them also? Go ahead.
exactly like in mine, you see meet people on set. You have relationships. Some of them get married, Brad and Angelina. Some of them don't. And I remember being on one of my shows. One of my co-stars had a relationship with one of the set crew, and we were like, just don't mess up the filming. Like, just keep the private back
what
there.
happens when they break up?
Is it more acceptable?
Nightmare. In any office, though, imagine
all day.
Right, in any office, you have to bump into the guy you just broke up with. How fun is that?
See, I've got to say,
I have to say there was a relationship that I remember working, I will not say where, and this wonderful couple, they were so sweet. They would hold hands walking to court, walking to anyway, and to lunch and everything. And I thought, God, that is so cool that they can work together, go home together, and they're still so loving. And then I found out they're married, but not to each other.
Oh, wow.
It was like one of those, whoa.
One of the things they say, one of the things on the list is to not act too cold towards each other, because that's a tip-off also.
Yeah.
You have to sort of be, you know, casual.
Career suicide aside, I think it would be kind of hot. You know what I mean? You have to like.
Done it, Paula?
No, I never have. I married my college sweetheart, but that was hot too because he played basketball and I was in the broadcasting program, so we tried to keep that on the down.
Is he the only man you've ever been with, Paula?
Joy?
Yes,
my husband. My husband.
He's the only man you've ever had sex with. I think that's very, very interesting.
Like I said, I mean, like, no, what's wrong with that, though?
It's like a dinosaur. We never hear of it anymore.
I know. You don't smile, and I wasn't a horse, so you know what I mean?
Nothing happened. Sit down, girls. I feel like when I was girls, when I was teaching high school, I had to tell them, stay in your seats. One of my colleagues stapled a kid to his seat one time. I'm going to do that to you.
Hashtag shade responsibly. Shade responsibly.
We got to go. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Up next, Rodney and Holly Robinson Peete join the table for Hot Topics.
Robinson Peete star in a new docu-series called For Pete's Sake, I love that, where they get into their own topics around the table. Let's watch. Holly Robinson Peete and Rodney Peete, welcome to the show. I do want to talk about your kids. I do, because you have a lot of them, right?
We do. Rodney forced me.
But I wonder,
all my fault.
Is there anything we were talking about, like did you ever date a co-worker, any of that?
I remember when I was on 21 Jump Street, you know, Johnny Depp was kind of cute, right? And my mom called me and said, do not date that guy.
Yeah.
Do not, no matter how fine he is, don't date him.
Because?
Great advice.
Yeah.
Because when you break up, you said it, when you break up, you don't want to see your ex at work every day?
Every day.
Yeah.
Did you date him?
Huh? As far as you know, I didn't.
I don't know about that.
How about you?
There might have been a cheerleader here and there, but not really someone.
Typical.
I know. That's pretty taboo, though. You're not supposed to date the cheerleaders.
But you have teenagers, right?
Yeah,
How old are your
two
kids?
18-year-olds, 18, 18, 13, and 11.
I can't.
Because we had a story this week about, in the New York Times, it said there's a right way to fight with your teenagers. And one of the things they said is you have to let them talk, hear them out. I think you believe that, right?
I do.
You have them talk, hear their point of view.
They have to be heard. They have to feel heard. I like fighting with my daughter on like texting.
Text message.
You do?
I do. It gets right to the point.
Yeah.
And then you wrap it up and you keep it moving.
And when you see each other, you can smile. It's not like a visual, visceral reaction. I know growing up, especially in the black family I grew up, there was such thing as no talking back, not really being able to express yourself, because what they say is what they say, and that's the end all be all.
Now they just post the eye roll emoji.
All day. My mom is real for that. But
the teeth-sucking emoji.
That hurt me in the end because I have to learn on this show how to express myself, and you guys see me get caught up with my words, and I think that's because as a child, I didn't know how to have that healthy discussion back and forth.
You didn't know how to present your own case.
I didn't know how to.
It's so important.
Now you do.
I do that with my children. I mean, if they want to do something, if they can be their best advocate and convince me, the judge, then I will absolutely let them do it.
But
so it's about healthy debate.
You are a lawyer. How do they
my
win?
kids are good. They're good. They're good. But we've been having these sort of debates at home since they were little kids.
But there's that line. There's that line that they may cross from time to time. How do you balance
I
that
shut
line?
it down if they cross it.
Okay.
You know, I'm still their mother.
Right, what she said.
You
Shut it down.
Right? On a more serious note, because I know that Rodney, you were a quarterback in the NFL for 16 years, and now they're saying that there is a link between football and brain injuries like CTE. Do you let your kids play?
Well, thank God they gravitated towards baseball and basketball, so I don't have to make that decision.
But you say thank God they did.
Yeah, because it's a tough decision, because football did so much for me, and I love the game, and if my kid was passionate about it and really wanted to do it, it'd be a real tough decision for me.
What about mommy? What would mommy say?
Yeah.
Oh, I know like it.
Yeah.
Would you let them
we
play,
know
though?
too much. I mean, like Rodney said, we're fortunate we dodged a bullet. He's an amazing baseball player.
Right.
And we're trying to keep him on that lane. But knowing what we know, it's hard. And, Rodney's had so many concussions. He played back in the day when they were like, you got 2 fingers up? Okay, get back in.
I was going to ask
Do you feel, I mean, are there any concerns? I know Ken Stabler passed away in July, and then he was diagnosed, and most of the time you're diagnosed posthumously. He was a quarterback. Do you have any concerns that maybe you might have CTE?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's concerns. I mean, we talk about it on the show. It's a place that we go to, and I have an MRI on the show, and we get the results and all those things because it's delayed. You never know, until. And I was very close to Junior Seau, who took his own life, and we went to college together and really close friends. So, yeah, there's a fear. There certainly is after playing so long and playing in the era that I did, where they sent you right back in the game. There was no protocol. There wasn't anything like that. So it's scary.
But you know what I want to tell you?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
I just want to say that no worries. Happy birthday. I just want to say, if you guys don't know, I have known this fabulous couple when they got married. I was actually in their wedding, and we worked on Hanging with Mr. Cooper together.
Yes, you were. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, do you remember?
Oh, look, I met Raven. Actually, I met you on the Cosby Show set because my dad was one of the writers and producers. So you didn't know me. Yes, my dad was involved in that show. And then got to work with you on Cooper. And I was in my mid-20s, but all I wanted to do was hang out with this 10, 11-year-old. We used to go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and we used to order the number 9 special.
But there's a way to eat it the way that she does. You have to put the chicken in the thing and then roll up the waffle.
You made a little sandwich. A what?
A what?
You heard me.
A sandwich.
And then we would sing. Do you remember what song we would get in the car and jam to all the time?
It was A Clear Black Night?
No, What a Man by Salt and Pepper and Vogue. Anyway, this one, I feel like I didn't raise her, but I feel like she was my first child.
You were a part of my life.
I love this girl. I love my Ray.
Well, she's incredible. Your new show.
Yes.
You're welcome, sweetie. For Pete's Sake is a reality show. You've already got 4 kids. You have 2 dogs. And your mother is also running around the house.
And dating at 80.
And dating at 80.
Oh, my God.
She looks good.
She's 80?
She looks wonderful.
Wow.
But what was it like to let cameras in there into your life?
Well, Sonny, it was a learning curve. So instead of waking up and talking to 5 people every morning, there's 35 people or so. I did like when they brought me my little coffee to my bedroom, in the morning. That was nice. But it was a learning curve, and so the cameras are there, and then you forget later on. So you start off all nice, like, "Oh, sweetie, please take the trash out," and then like a week later, "I said take the trash out." And then poor Rodney, you know, he went along.
She made me do it. She made me do it. You know, I went along.
It's so great to see you. I know Holly a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah, we know each other from the old. This show's been on the air 20 years almost.
I know, you're still here, Joy.
I'm still here.
Wow.
Anyway, you can see Holly, Rodney, and their family on For Pete's Sake starting tomorrow night on OWN. And look for the book Holly and their kids wrote together. Same but different. Teen Life on the Autism Express. That must be a very good book.
Good book.
Members of our studio audience are going home with a copy. We'll be right back.
Next, Oscar-winning big screen superstar Sophia Loren reveals which legendary leading man she had to give the kiss off. Next week, The View's Tell 'Em Joy.
Oscar winner Sophia Loren is one of big screen's most legendary stars. And Whoopi and I sat down with her earlier this week. Take a look.
You know, there are stars and then there are stars. And we are sometimes really, really blessed when a megastar comes in, and that's what's happened today. Big screen legend, you know her because she's stunningly beautiful. You know her because she's really smart. She's an amazing cook. She's got cookbooks up the yin-yang. You can't believe. And now she's touring the U.S. talking to live audiences about her incredible life and career. Please welcome one of the most stellar stars on the face of the earth, Miss Sophia Loren.
Not bad, huh?
You're also known as one of the most beautiful women on the face of the earth. But when you started out, somebody told you your nose wasn't right, that your lips weren't right, that your hips were too... How did you just get over them talking about you in such a disparaging way?
Well, because maybe I believed in myself, and also because I had to grow, because when they were talking like that, I was about 14, 15 years old.
Right.
So, I mean, everything was still a little bit all caught up.
Right.
But when I started to explode, let's say, then they started to look at me in a different way.
Right.
The nose was a little shorter, which is not true. The mouth was a little bit smaller, which is not true. It's always there. But they kind of liked it, yes. Yes. And
They
this
sure
is the
did.
result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about you is you've been in so many great movies over the years, and one of my favorites is the 1958 movie Houseboat, with the most gorgeous, of course, like yourself, Cary Grant. Let's look at a clip.
Well, now, you must have had a lot of experience raising children.
No, I have no experience. But I know when a little child is unhappy. I know. And how I know when a father is unreasonable. Try to be a parent, not a policeman.
I don't know what you know about parents, but I imagine you've had a wide acquaintance amongst policemen. I'll have to call one if you keep that up.
Wow, that was good. And, you know, Sophia, everybody seems to know that Cary Grant was in love with you in the middle of making that movie. You were married to Carlo Ponti for 40 years, and during that film, but you turned down Cary Grant.
Did I? When we finished the film Houseboat, I went back to Italy to continue my career, and so many days went by, years went by, and then I decided that the man of my life was Carlo, and still is Carlo, even though he's not with us anymore. And he has been my mentor. I owe him everything I obtained from my career now, because he had a lot of belief in me.
Faith in you,
Belief in me.
And 2 gorgeous sons, 2 beautiful... when I tell you they are beautiful men, I feel terrible saying it because I feel like a sneaky old lady, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful. And now, somebody told me a story, I don't know if it's true, that when you were up for the Oscar for 2 women, you decided not to go to the ceremony. Why?
Well, because among the 5, I was the only Italian, and it was the first time that they would, they could have given an Oscar to an Italian actress with a film spoken in Italian. So I said, it's very nice to be among the 5. It's very nice, it's very beautiful. For me, it's enough. But if I go there and maybe they are going to give me the prize, I'm going to faint. So it's better if I faint at home than on the stage. So that's what I did. And then I was at home in Italy, and the telephone rang at 6 o'clock in the morning. And who was on the phone?
Somebody.
Guess.
Cary Grant?
Yeah.
Wow, he was persistent.
So now on this tour that you're doing, no question from the audience is off limits. You're having a dialogue with the audience that comes to hear you. Now, what made you decide that you wanted to do this?
Because I think it's very nice once in a while to be able to talk to people that you know that they have followed you all your life. And it's really very interesting for me because I've never done theater.
Right.
So it encourages me to be able to be on a stage and be confronted with all these people that have been my life, you know.
Before you go, since no question is off limits, I always wondered about, okay, there's a photograph, and people have talked about it millions of times.
I know.
So,
I know.
There you are sitting.
Yes.
Yeah. And you see, they had to blur some of it. That wonderful woman's name is Jane Mansfield, by the way. So you're sitting, and you know.
I come from Italy, from Naples.
Right. And you happen to look over
a party for me.
For you. And those breasts upstage tried to upstage you.
No, but I was afraid that they were going to finish in my plate.
Our thanks to the fabulous Sophia Loren. You can spend an evening with Sophia Loren in cities like Dallas, Chicago, and Las Vegas over the next coming weeks. So go to the website for a full list of tour dates and go check out the fabulous Sophia Loren. And have a great time.
Has the first TV interview with Kate Del Castillo, the Mexican actress who was the only person in the world to arrange a meeting with drug lord El Chapo and who brought Sean Penn along for the ride. See it tonight on 2020 at 10 p.m. here on ABC. I say 2020. I used to tease Barbara all the time. Barbara, 2020. And of course, thanks to Marsha. But, you know, before you go, we have a couple of seconds here because the audience, everybody watched, a lot of people in this audience watched the O.J. trial in its original. And it's been how many years now?
Over 20, like 21 years.
21 years. Yeah. Are you still pissed off?
Prosecutor never gets over that.
No, yes, exactly. You know, you kind of never get over it.
But she was in the middle.
I was in the middle, but, you know, it's extremely painful because you have 2 very innocent people who were brutally murdered. No one was brought to justice. I don't know how I'm supposed to get over that.
Well, he's in jail. OJ's in jail.
Not for that. Not for that.
Well, but what's the difference? He's in jail.
He's up for parole, I think, next year, though.
He's up for parole.
There we go.